It is 7 o'clock and I will call the March 12th meeting of the Port Edwards Village Board to order. And I would ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Okay, Trustee Bingham.
Present.
Trustee Duncan.
Here.
Trustee Brendan. Here. Trustee Martinson. Trustee Mitchell. Here. And Trustee Saylor.
Here. If the minutes will reflect that Trustee Martinson has an excused absence tonight for business matter. Also, no one is here from the PFC. Vice Chairman Doug Caston called that he would not be able to make it after all, so there's nothing much really to report there. So I'd ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and to remain standing for a brief moment of silence for our war heroes. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. I will, it just dawned on me why. Good. Okay. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Bingham, second by Trustee Mitchell. Is there any discussion? Hearing no request to speak, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries. Public comments on agenda items. Mr. Russ Haskey, you're up.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Joe. The reason I stopped in tonight is what I'm trying to find out is the snowmobile access route in and out of Port Edwards. And also if anybody has considered UTV, ATV access road in and out of Port Edwards.
I will direct you to Chairman Saylor of that committee. The snowmobile was set years ago. It's pretty much wherever you are, you can use the streets to get out of town.
Okay.
It used to be Verbunker, Edwards, and those on the perimeters or whatever. But now it's pretty much you can leave your home and go up Verbunker and.
All right.
And I can find the exact.
How about for the ATV, UTV thing?
All that we have is, we just passed that.
Seneca on the north side,
South side.
South side.
so that they could leave and come back, just Seneca Road, from the tracks to Moxon Creek.
Okay.
That's all that's been.
But there's no access to Seneca Road as of right now from say Verbunker.
No.
That is correct.
Okay.
And the reason that we passed that is because Seneca already passed their portion of it. So the residents on that road, or anybody that wanted to use that road, they could get out of town, but they couldn't get back.
Yeah.
So that's why we just did the other side of the road. But we haven't been approached, and we're open for discussion.
All right.
On everything else, so.
Well, I own one. My neighbor across the street owns one.
Yep.
I've talked to Holey's. All of us are interested in being able to access the ATV trail out on 54. Or once you get into the town of Seneca, once we get to Port Road in Seneca, I mean, there's hundreds of miles that we can ride. So, and we've got 2 miles stopping us. I was just wondering if there's some way that we can make that connection.
Yes, there is. Starting out to bring it before the CERT committee, you could call Mr. Corman down at the office, and he could talk to him about it, and then it would be put on the CERT agenda. Is that, yeah, it's your agenda.
Yeah.
CERT agenda, if Chairman Saylor allowed it on his agenda.
Okay.
And that meeting's next Tuesday.
That's next Tuesday?
At 5 o'clock.
All right.
The agenda goes out when?
Can you get that? Yeah, we haven't posted it yet, have we?
It goes out on Friday. The agenda goes out on Friday.
Oh, okay.
So if I came down and talked to you sometime this week about it, you were talking down at the...
Yeah, at Mike's office down in the municipal building.
Yeah. if I came down sometime this week. and-
Sure.
What are your hours down there?
8 o'clock to 4:30.
Okay, and Monday through Friday?
Yep.
And if you can do it before Friday, that way we can get on the agenda for our meeting.
Yeah.
It's posted for the public. Otherwise, if it's
Otherwise-
after Friday, then
Then it goes to
Yeah.
8.
How about tomorrow?
It's up to you if you're available.
Yeah, I am.
Stop on by.
Okay, how about 9 AM tomorrow morning?
Sure.
Perfect.
I like the way you do
Write it
that.
down.
All right, sounds good.
I think you'll be there.
I'll see you in the morning.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys.
You bet.
If I may add,
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. President, Diane, we have to, that requires an ordinance change, right? The ATV that we passed
Yeah.
at the CERC meeting.
The ordinance has been changed already.
Oh,
For
okay.
the south side of Seneca. yeah.
Okay, we have updated the ordinance then. Okay, we don't have to do any formality motion-wise on that?
and that's fine.
No,
Long as we
the
pass it.
Pass the motion.
So
yeah.
it's just a matter of updating the ordinance. Okay, thank you very much.
Our clerk is right on the money here.
Well, I didn't know if we needed a committee action.
That was
to do
for
it.
your Hug the Flag comment. And we move into the president's report, and I have nothing, so we'll go into the committee reports. Under the Airport Commission, the only thing I have to say here is set the minutes, and if you have any questions, I'll try and answer them as well as possible, but otherwise, Mr. Sickler, the airport manager, will be here for his quarterly report next month in April. So that's about all I have to say on that. Police and Fire Commission, like I said, Vice Chairman Caston had a last minute commitment, so he's unable to be here. So we will move into the CERC, Streets Infrastructure, Recreation, and Cemetery Committee. Chairman Saylor.
Do we have the new minutes from March? Do we have the minutes?
No.
Let's see if I can find the minutes. I had February 19th, that's the right one. right?
Did you need?
Yes, yes, this is the right one. I got it.
Okay.
We had 2 CERC meetings in 1 month.
Yeah.
So we had a meeting on February 19th at dates were on that, at 5 o'clock. We had some conversations, some stuff. The only thing that I have, does anybody have any questions on any of the minutes? It was a pretty generic meeting. The only thing that I want to bring to the table is would like to make a motion to enlist MSA to produce the water study.
Motion by Chairman Saylor to enlist MSA to produce a water study. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Grundon. Discussion.
You gonna ask what the water study is?
Well, no, because I did read the minutes today, Eric. And just if anybody wants to know, it's on the
Mike?
Port Road, Seneca.
Mike, you want to?
Yeah, just at the north end of Port Road, southeast intersection of Seneca Road and Port Road. There's some drain tile in there that's connecting the drainage way from one side of Port Road to the other. The water isn't draining as well as we would like it, so this study helps to identify long-term options to increase the flow of that drainage way.
Is this in relation to the ongoing problems on Fort Road?
Yeah, there's a wooded wetland at the north end of Port Road there, and you know, so this will help give us some options of what we can.
Any other questions on
Anybody else? Okay, those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
it? And that's about it. Our meeting adjourned at 6:14, and that's all I have for the CERC.
Thanks, Eric. We are going to skip down to E. I'm going to try and keep the Planning and Property Committee stuff until Attorney Apps arrives. He should be here by 20 after, so he said. We'll go into Public Safety. Trustee Bingham, please.
Okay, thank you, President. The minutes reflect that our new truck will be picked up and has been picked up. And I know our fire chief, Patrick Arndt, is very excited about that opportunity. I know Mr. Saylor himself drove it part of the way back. And so we're happy to have that truck in our possession at this time. The old truck is where, Eric?
The last I seen it on Saturday, it was still in our engine bay.
Okay.
They're talking about moving it to the sewage plant.
Okay, that's
Storage.
right. All right, thank you.
And then-
Thank you, good. I couldn't remember what was said on that. In addition, under the fire department, there was discussion and possible action approving the resolution extending the emergency services contract with the city of Wisconsin Rapids. We recently had a presentation by Scott Young and Jason Jolie, thank you, Mr. President. Excellent presentation. Feedback from our police chief, Patrick Arndt, has been excellent in the cooperation between the two. The services have been outstanding, the response time has been excellent. The committee moved to extend the contract for 4 years based on, and that contract, that cost is based on Department of Administration population figures for Port Edwards. Is that correct, Mr. Foreman? Also, there'll be minimal increases each year. Looking at the quality of the service, the committee is requesting that the board approve the resolution extending that emergency services contract.
That is a motion.
That is a motion, yes.
Second.
Motion by trustee Begum to approve the extension of the emergency services agreement between the Village of Port Edwards and the City of Wisconsin Rapids. Second by trustee Grundon. Discussion. Hearing no request to speak. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Under the police department, interim chief Radke discussed some data that he's collected, a more clear definition of the data that is collected. He's caught up on a number of reports that are required by the state. They're replacing some tasers that are outdated, and they'll be disposing of those. The question that came up, whether we're continuing to cover the schedule with our staff. We have 2 full-time officers and 4 part-time, and the answer is yes, we're covering the periods that we are assigned to, so that's good news. And that is all I have, Mr. President. Anything else? Let's see, anything else? Okay.
Thank you, trustee Begum. We will now move into the Finance and Human Resource Committee. And trustee Saylor, if you would take the lead for trustee Martinson.
All right, thank you. We had a meeting on March 7th. Reviewed the monthly bills. We had a small presentation about the opportunity zone from Mr. Scott Harrington from Vanderwall. Talked about some training and stuff. We got some motions here. I'd like to make a motion to approve the payment of the bills.
Motion by trustee Saylor to approve payment of the bills. Second.
Second.
Second by trustee Mitchell. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the journal entries from the previous month.
Second.
Motion by trustee Saylor, second by trustee Grundon to approve the journal entries of the previous month. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We did have a discussion about employee training and how that would be handled. So with that, I would like to make a motion to approve the village to pay the normal employee compensation for the water utility operator, Jason Weberns, to attend training for fire hydrants.
Second.
Motion by trustee Saylor to approve the motion as read by him, second by trustee Duncan. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
Another motion I'd like to make to approve the village to pay the costs associated with, including any compensation necessary for water utility operator Jason Leverage to attend the Wisconsin Rural Water Association Annual Conference.
Second.
Motion by trustee Saylor on the motion to approve as read by him, second by trustee Duncan. Is there any discussion?
These are two separate conferences, that's why there's two separate motions.
Anything else? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. If I may, item 6 is request by me to table until the clerk is able to meet with the bank or the...
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple employees who get paid the end of the month, but right now I do it with the second payroll of the month. And the bank can't hold that until the end of the month, so we
Okay.
might have a problem there. Not sure how to handle that, we might have to bring it up at the HR meeting again.
So it'll be tabled till Diane would bring it back to the board when things are worked out.
Okay. And that has to do with the direct deposit. So.
Yes.
And then lastly, we had a discussion, I just want to make sure. We had some discussions in closed session, and out of the closed session, I'd like to make a motion to give trustee Duncan the authority to recruit special counsel for the DMI matter and bring back a list of names of those council members.
Motion by trustee Saylor to approve the motion as read by him. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Mitchell. Discussion. John.
What would be the function, Dana, of this attorney?
You want the short answer or the long answer?
Short one. I know attorneys always have a long one, so.
Make things as uncomfortable as possible for a particular company.
Okay. What would be, I'm gonna ask another question, what would be the end result for the village?
The idea is to put enforcement on somebody's plate, and that's all they're focusing on,
Okay, thank you.
so that we can get things moving if necessary.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Hearing no further comments, request to comment. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
One abstention, since it's authorizing
Oh,
me on abstain.
correct. Motion would carry 4-0 with an abstention.
And our meeting was adjourned at 6:01. That's all I got.
Okay, we will move into, evidently he's not gonna be here, so thank you for waiting, Mr. Vice President, the PIT Committee.
Yes, all right. PIT committee met on February 25th. Seems like a long time ago already. At that time, we did discuss a few different things. Primarily, it was the effort to go forward with the proposed remodel and creation of a boardroom in the municipal building. Motion is to approve costs for items A, B, C, D, E, G, H, and I. That's carpentry, drywall, paint, ceiling, plumbing, mechanical, electrical, flooring, abatement, and then the roof, which would come out of normal operating accounts, and windows, which would be covered by other budgetary items, would be pursuant to that, so move approval.
Motion by Chairman Duncan to approve the motion as read by him. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by trustee Mitchell. Discussion. I would hope we could have a little bit more on that, maybe Mike or Dana.
Overall, the Metal Clarence building was part of the original shopping center in 1948. And about half of the cost of this project is specifically for maintenance items, including replacing the 1948 windows, a furnace, and other energy efficiencies, like LED lighting and some of that. It would also create a secure evidence room for the police department and secure the police department from the other half of the building. It would also create a village boardroom that would be in close proximity to the municipal building. That room would also be used, could be used for community groups, meetings, and things of that nature. So essentially, this is kind of helping to cement village government operations in the heart of our village.
Yes, Chair.
I don't think that I don't remember this part being asked. How many, for the village boardroom part, how many people will that room accommodate?
Well, I wish I had that number.
It's right around, it's very comparable if you've been out to the town of Saratoga's boardroom. I believe their capacity by fire code is 44. And this is, the benches are 2 foot wider and 4 foot deeper, and talking with our fire chief, he figures it'd be right around 50.
So what's our capacity now? What are we gonna gain that way?
In the municipal building? I would say 15, but that's just a guess. You agree, Mike? Pretty much close?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say 15 in the municipal building, yeah.
Well,
It should be 15.
there's just something that I wanted to mention that, why I think this is such an important project. And I mentioned this at the PIP meeting. Back when I was a student in college, a long time ago now, I read a series of articles by a professor at Harvard University by the name of James Q. Wilson. And Professor Wilson came up with a theory that he called the broken window theory, which is that wherever urban blight appears in cities, wherever there are broken windows, because it gives the attitude and impression to people around that nobody cares. And so the crime rate rises.
We are here.
When Rudy Giuliani was elected mayor and he appointed the police chief, whose name slips me, they implemented this policy. So if you're in New York City, if a subway car is tagged with graffiti, it is removed immediately and scrubbed. It's not in service until it's completely clean. All of the subway stations, if they're tagged, are immediately cleaned and repainted to prevent that from falling into disrepair or decay. That's the way the city operates in general. If there's a problem, they fix it. It's aesthetics. They try to make the thing look as nice as possible. If we as a village really want to try to recruit and have businesses locate here and be more than a bedroom community, I think it behooves us to try to put the best impression forward that we can, that we care about our downtown and we're willing to spend money on our downtown to improve the looks and to have something that's available for the public in general. With that, I mean, we're replacing the windows that are from 1948. They're not very well energy efficient. They're not very aesthetically pleasing. But I hope that people see that we care and that pride permeates through the village and permeates through those who may be interested in either moving here for residential purposes or businesses wishing to locate. And so I feel that this project is a first start in what we hope is going to be a renewal of our village and the downtown specifically.
And on the other end, I'm torn between it. I don't know. Would I like to see the downtown built up? Yes. My opinion is we have a functional place here. I mean, and we have plenty of seating for the 2 people that showed up. we got, I mean, when I drive in, you know, the roads, we got big potholes on Verbunker, we got potholes other places. When I look at $50,000 milled and re-blacktopped from Port Road to Brentwood, you know, if there's another area in town that we could take some of this money, you know, the roofing, the roof and the windows and stuff I understand. But if there was $50,000 that we could replace, or if the sewer and water is viable underneath, if we could blacktop the top to make the roads good. I mean, I understand what Mr. Duncan's talking about making it a place that people want to come to, but when you drive to the municipal building, if you rattle all your teeth out, you know, it's another thing, but that's just my opinion.
I think part of that is too that we need to, you know, if we're gonna do the surface or the outside, we need to continue and do it all at once. You know, so I think there's an argument for that to do it all and have it all in good shape and looking nice.
My assumption would be there would be a cost-effective nature to doing it all at once also, but I feel the same that you're feeling. The state of our roads is something that we've got to.
I'm not against it. I'm just, you know, we have something that's viable right now. Could that money be spent elsewhere? So.
The thing that, there was a meeting this summer that I thought I was nearly going to pass out from the heat in here. That, I think we could do better than that for a public meeting space, you know, where everybody can be comfortable, have a managed climate, temperature. I think there are better options. And then going into closed sessions, if we could go into a back room and not have to kick everyone out of the building. I think there's some things, you know, I have kind of been on and off on the fence also. So I see what you're saying, but I'm kind of leaning towards, I think, if we're gonna have to put in and have all the contractors and everything in, let's just get it done.
And the building is empty.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, you know, yeah, I see both sides of it, but I think the opportunity is there now. The building, that space has been vacated. I think it's a positive. I tend to agree with Dana. You have to start somewhere, and this is a good place to start because the opportunity. Eric, I know what you're saying, but I really believe the streets budget, you know, we've looked at priorities, you know that, you're on that committee, and capital, you know, the capital projects, and I think we're doing a pretty good job, and we've really discussed what needs to be done. You know, potholes are an issue everywhere now, and they're gonna be for, you know, in every community. Rapids, you know, the thing is, are you drunk or are you swerving to miss potholes? And that's the dilemma that's going on right now. So I don't, you know, I don't like the idea financially of stealing from Peter, you know, to say, oh yeah, if we didn't do this, we could fix one more block of, more than a block. But this project has been designated to get done. I think it's a good project. I support it.
Interesting world you live in that you only have that choice. It's either you're drunk or swerving the pot. Not a combination.
Thank you.
I'm in Wisconsin.
Mike, you have anything to chime in on?
No,
Okay. Go ahead.
I heard Tiara talk about I'd rather do it all at once. Is there, yeah, so has there been any discussion? To me, that has never been open to discussion.
We're in preparation of talking about using TIF money, which is part of the thing, for the beautification of the front of the building, redoing the sidewalks, making handicap accessibility.
Right.
But that's going to be more of a spring project because, so we'll be bringing that up here within the next month or two, right? Like, because right now we're getting the contractors in because the weather's not real good yet.
Right.
So that's part of the reason why we're getting a little bit better bids, because
Good.
they can't organize outside activities as easily. So.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Would it be appropriate at this time, Eric, to submit a motion to approve?
That's already.
No, I'm sorry, this is discussion. Okay, it was so long ago.
All right, I will reread it. The motion,
Swerving for potholes?
Yeah, on the way here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
are you watching that insurance commercial about potholes and arguing with them? The motion by Chairman Duncan, second by Trustee Mitchell, to approve bids for items A, B, C, D, E, G, H, and I as noted on the agenda. Excuse me. Accept the bid from Tri-City Services of $19,837 for mechanicals and $10,800 for windows and doors in the municipal building, with the cost of the project not to exceed $100,000 and to be financed pursuant to a loan with the Coosa Port Edwards State Bank. Everybody straight on the motion. And the $100,000 figure was what was approved in the budget process in the fall. So without any further discussion, all those in favor of this motion will signify by saying aye. And before you do, I would ask the clerk to call the roll on this vote, which any board member can do at any time.
So it's motion for division. It's division, it's so that you can individually,
Correct.
yes.
Okay, Trustee Duncan,
Aye.
Trustee Grundon,
Aye.
Trustee Mitchell,
Aye.
Trustee Saylor,
No.
and Trustee Bingham.
Aye.
And that motion passes 4-1. And Dana, I'd like to personally thank you for spearheading this, and Mike for your work in there over the months. Now that the vote's over, I won't have to pass the gavel to Dana. Tierra alluded to the fact of the second room in there and stuff like that, not having to send people outside and wait. That is a very big thing, and that room is called the trustees room. I just think that the six of you and your dedication to the village, you have your own place that maybe things at home aren't so conducive to working on stuff, and you'll have access to that room. Also, the opportunity to have committee meetings if you don't want to use the main board room, because you will have a capacity of about 20-25 people in that room also. And I know Sue has had, I think she told me, 3 contacts from the public already about whether or not the public will be able to use that room. I don't know what groups. I had one civic group ask me, and then one other person about a bridal shower, and I said, well, I don't think it'll be ready yet in time for your wedding. But there's a lot of interest there, and I think the thing about the Field of Dreams, when they told Roy Conseca, build it and they will come, I think this is a win-win for the village, I really do. And I know when you were president of the school board, when you had your closed sessions, the board moved to a private room so the audience could stay put, and I think that's a very good point that you made. Thank you all. Okay, number 3, Dana?
Motion to approve the public participation plan.
Motion by Chairman Duncan to approve the public participation plan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Saylor. Under discussion, I think we need a little explanation.
Yeah, that's, this is part of a requirement for amending the comprehensive plan. So this public participation plan just outlines some areas on, including the public outside of the public or prior to the public hearing. All these items in this plan were executed for the public hearing that was held a couple weeks ago. So it's just one of those state requirement things when dealing with the comprehensive plan.
Okay, anybody else? Mr. Apps, anything on this?
I would just say that having reviewed, I mean, it's well put by Mike, but having reviewed the comprehensive plan, or the participation plan, it's consistent with state standards on that point. So it was all done according to what you would expect for municipalities in the state.
Okay. Hearing no further requests to speak, the motion by Chairman Duncan, second by Trustee Saylor to approve, lost my place here, the public participation plan. All those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
And the last thing I have is a motion to approve comprehensive plan map amendments from natural resources to residential.
Motion by Chairman Duncan to approve the comprehensive plan map amendment from natural resources to residential. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Trustee Mitchell. Discussion.
Just a little background, this is regarding the village property, 8.5 acres at the north end of 6th Street. Our plan and our zoning map were not in alignment, so we're adjusting the comprehensive plan to be residential, so it aligns with the residential zoning.
If you like, I can add that this is necessary because the comprehensive plan and zoning are supposed to be in alignment, that that future construction, future planning, anything that's done with regard to zoning and future development is supposed to be consistent with a comprehensive plan according to state law. The fact that they were not in alignment really, while there's not a great deal of case law on the subject, it's fairly problematic for the underlying comprehensive plan to not be consistent with the zoning and for anything to go forward pursuant to that zoning. So this really just brings them into alignment. And I would also say that I think it gives the village plenty of flexibility in terms of what to do with that parcel. It does not compel the village to act in any particular way. It does not compel the village to take any particular action as far as that property goes. I think this is just a necessary step that was brought up because of that inconsistency.
Anybody else? Hearing no further requests to speak, motion by Chairman Duncan, second by Trustee Mitchell to approve the comprehensive plan map amendment from natural resources to residential. All those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then that motion carries.
That's all I have.
So we can move into unfinished business from previous meetings. Anybody with a request for new business? Okay, Mr. Corman, you're on. Report from Village Administrator.
Just with this rain we're getting, it's kind of nice to revisit the skating pond we had at Ripple Creek this year. From what I can tell, we had pretty good participation and interest level on the pond. So we will revisit that again in our budget process. And then also our newsletter went out recently. Thanks, Diane put a lot of hard work putting that all together. And all of our staff wrote articles for that. That is also available online on the village website for people who maybe didn't receive it or lost their copy or want to look back at old newsletters. Those are all archived on the village website.
I got used right until we had that snap of 20 below weather that kind of ended that abruptly.
Yeah, all the streets that had the 6 inches of ice and compacted snow, I noticed when I came down for the meeting today, Alexander Avenue right outside the building here went from that hard white icy surface to slush in the matter of an hour. So, we don't need a deluge though. Otherwise, Mike, you're in charge of building the ark. Okay, report from our clerk treasurer.
Nothing.
Okie dokie. Under trustee comments, since the village president is considered a trustee, I will take liberty and go first. I received a card about a week ago from Heather Garrett, who's our Wood County treasurer, and it kind of tells us something we've already known about our village clerk, and I would just like to share this. Joe, just a little note to let you know what a pleasure it is to work with Diane. The required information for tax bill preparation was sent in a timely manner, and tax collections and settlements went smoothly. I just wanted to let you know that you have a great person working for you and your municipality. Sincerely, Heather Garrett, Wood County Treasurer. So Diane, congratulations. So, that's all I have. Trustee comments, anybody else? Okay, no requests there to speak. The March 13th, 2019 to April 9th, 2019 Village Board meetings are as follows. On Tuesday, March 19th at 5 p.m. in the Municipal Building, the Streets, Infrastructure, Recreation, and Cemetery Committee will meet. On the same day and date at 6 p.m. in the Municipal Building, the Property, Planning, Legislative, and Information Technology Committee will meet. On Monday, April 1st, 6:30 p.m. in the Municipal Building, the Police and Fire Commission will meet. And I'm not fooling on that. April Fool's Day? Oh boy. Tuesday, April 2nd at 5 p.m. in the Municipal Building, the Public Safety Committee will meet. And I would like to take this opportunity for a public service announcement. That is Election Day, and our polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So come on down and cast your vote, because your vote does count, despite what we hear in the news media these days. Thursday, April 4th, 5 p.m. in the Municipal Building, the Finance and Human Resource Committee will meet. And then Tuesday, April 9th at 7 p.m., and without objection, I would like to move that village board meeting on the 9th back to the Municipal Building. And I would like to, maybe that night at the same time, we can take a tour of the new annex that'll be going up. So, and that's also will end, be the end of the April 17th, 2018 to April 9th, 2019 Village Board session. Then by statute, we will not meet any meetings that week until April 16th at 6 p.m. will be our organizational meeting for the next year, with a new chairman, new committees, new commissions. Any new members will be approved by the Village Board upon my recommendation. So, any questions? Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Motion by Trustee Duncan to adjourn. Second by Trustee Saylor. We stand adjourned.